Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're talking about Fairy Tail 527. Now this actually came out ridiculously early. The scanner letters got it well early. I think it was like Thursday night where I originally read this, and then like 7 Deadly Sins I read it on the Friday, so it was really early compared to usual. So because of schedule, as you can imagine, I had some on Wednesday, some on Thursday, some on Friday, some on Saturday. I was always doing videos, and because of that I can only do so much. With that being the case, it's Sunday. I'm here to do 7 Deadly Sins and Fairy Tail. This is a Fairy Tail video, then 7 Deadly Sins, and if I can squeeze it in, it will hopefully be the Blue Exorcist. The whole video, hopefully. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this review. Now, if you look at the whole chapter, so if you look at the chapter is 527, there's some problems with it, there's some issues with it, but when you think about the grand scheme of things, it is kind of trying to just tie everything up and move along and get to that finale that we all see is coming now, you know, with it coming to an end in the last arc. There's a good chance it's going to be ending very, very soon. I know there's a movie coming out, there's meant to be news about season 3. You could see all this kind of building towards that. So with that being said, because it's doing all that, you can understand why certain things are happening, and you can overlook them to a certain degree. I'm not saying they're perfect, but you'll understand as I go through this. So let's talk about the components of this this actual chapter. So the first part, it's pretty much a no-brainer. We knew it was going to happen. Lachied gets, I guess, destroyed or returned to the book, or basically dissolved mercilessly by Zeref. He said, "Look, you were just a book that was in the demon book that I had, you're nothing special." Pow, disappear. Natsu isn't very happy about that. It's about the idea of friendship, comrades, family that you build, the memories you share, and they're ready to have that final fight. So that's a key component, and that's what it's pushing towards. It was pushing Lachied out the way, and it's a little bit disappointing because when we were introduced to this character, we knew him as Rachid or Rached or Lachied or Lachied, but he was given the name Dragoneel, and we thought, okay, this guy's going to be a big deal. We can do something with this. Something exciting is going to happen. How is he going to be with Natsu? He hated Natsu, was jealous of Natsu, and thought, all right, cool, we've got something here. And then nothing really came of that. He turned up, he said, yeah, let's kill Natsu together, and he got destroyed. So it was weird. Then the good twist that came out, that was the whole August thing, which leads me on to the August thing. So August is alive from the attack, and it looks like Gildas has like lost function of his arm, I guess probably because of being damaged or whatever have you. With that being said though, August is up, he's survived, and he's basically going out for his all or nothing attack. Now basically, I guess the idea for him is because he was saved by his father. I say that because, to be fair, he wasn't treated like a son, because his dad didn't really know. But he's willing to give up his body for this. So he does this type of attack, and basically it's called, I've got to read this out, Ars Magia or Ars Magica, I guess. And it's a type of sacrifice, I guess, because he goes, I'll give up my body for him. And essentially it's meant to evaporate and melt the world and destroy every human living being, just living being in general, evaporate their blood. Now, then we get reminded of a passage that was mentioned before. The only thing that can stop and defeat him is his mother. And then we see his mother. And as he sees his mother, he stops. And as he stops, he starts to disintegrate. Because he's basically given up his body for this magic. And as he does that, he only has one line, and it stuck with me. And it was basically saying, I wish just once that could be held in your arms and hug you, mother. And then you see behind Mavis, the child, who didn't have the love of his father, he didn't have the love of his mother. So from his point of view, it's quite sad, because he did everything he could to help his father's goals, to achieve his dreams, to have this empire, and basically all he wanted was the love of his mother and his father, and he could never get that. So he just needed a hug. And I think because his mother wasn't around, she was encased, he lived a pretty crappy life. And I think that's part of why he had this whole I don't want to lose Nakama stuff. And you got the crazy side from his dad, which is understandable. So it's kind of sad that happened, but again, it's convenient. So what I mean by that is, if you look at the grand scheme of things, the Alvarez Empire, the Spriggan 12, were built up to be these big, bad, powerful, out of this world beings, and they started off really well, and then, you know, as they went along, they started getting, I guess, degraded or downgraded. Like, look at Ajil. Ajil was fighting against Erza, and then he was getting whooped by Elfman and the sister, not even Mira Jane. So, you know, there was that kind of thing that happened with them. But if you look at past that, though, the top three of the Alvarez Spriggan 12 was August, Eileen, and Rahid, Lakhed, whatever you want to call him. And they've all of a sudden, if you look at the last 10 chapters, they've been dealt with in one way or another. Obviously, Lakhed got defeated by his ultimate kryptonite, I guess, by the white-eating dragon that is Sting. So he fulfilled a purpose. And then he basically got destroyed by Zeref, which was his creator. So he had kind of like the master cheat code to beat him, I guess. He had the ultimate override code to beat him. Because he was kind of loyal. That was his dad to him. And he wasn't going to attack him. So he got destroyed because of that. August was the last person, and he was way OP compared to the rest of them, to the point where they would just show up and turn up. And he said some stuff, even Eileen. But even he, in one way or another, destroyed himself, died, was taken out of the equation. With that being the case, then we find out about a way potentially to defeat Eileen, the Book of End, or your AND, that Mavis has in her possession. And she basically says that once Natsu defeats him, and I have all the faith that he will defeat him, she says, this is our opportunity to defeat Zeref. But the only thing that can protect bring him back or save Natsu is the love of his friends. So again, is that Nakama power of bullshit that people talk about? Or is this just, again, the message that Mishima's throwing out there that is all about family and friendship? Okay, in the story it's make-believe and magic and all this stuff, and you got to think about it from the context of it is a fantasy world, so anything can happen. People are unhappy about that, but it's the end of the series. Who's going to cry over it? I'll just accept it for whatever it is. With that being said, that is a chapter. Took longer than I thought, but that's pretty much it. What happens next? So the final battle is going to happen between Zeref, but the next chapter is called Evil Dragon. Now, is Evil Dragon chapter 5 to 8 going to be about Acnologia, or is it going to be about END? Whichever one it is, it'll be interesting, because ultimately that is another piece of the big puzzle that he's taking care of. Acnologia is still about, he needs defeating, Zeref needs defeating. Is it going to be a case where Zeref and Natsu are going to come together to defeat Acnologia and then Zeref dies? Or is it going to be a situation where these two defeat each other and then the winner takes on Acnologia? We'll have to basically wait and see. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Now, with that being the case, we'll have to wait till next week, whenever that happens. That has been my review. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I'll leave my links to my other channel as well as my Twitter. Feel free to comment on there as well. I'm more than happy to have a discussion with anybody. And let's see what we can make of it. And I'll see you next time. Peace.